My name is Albert. I'm going to be your tour guide today. Today we are going to travel back in time. Quite a bit back in time. And we're going to take a look at the history of Lake Sacajawea. If you didn't know, Lake Sacajawea is a man-made lake. Here you can see a photo of the children forced into labor to build the lake. Wait a minute, that's not right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Next slide. Excuse me for that. The building of the lake started in 1924, and it was maintained as a park. However, the Great Depression of the 1930s created problems for the city. A debate took place on whether or not to sell it into 346 residential lots. Eventually, it was deeded to the city by the Longview Company in 1938. During World War II, however, little was done to maintain it, and it fell into disrepair. Back in 1952, after 20 years of not watering the landscape, the city raised funds to take care of the stagnation, algal growth, and poor water clarity. And now, after all those improvements, it has become a hot spot of Longview.
How's everybody doing today? I am. Let me check where I am. I had no idea there was an arboretum walk at Lake Sacajawea, guys. I didn't know there was until just recently. But there's all these really cool birds and trees and things. In fact, let me give you some of these to pass out. It tells you all about the lake has an arboretum, which basically it's a botanical garden of trees and place where there's shrubs, and basically it's available for scientific and educational education. I should have probably wrote more to my script. Anyway, one of the coolest things about this particular area is that the Sacajawea Lake has an arboretum that Frank Willis actually designed. And he actually left Oklahoma in 1948, and he had visited this particular place in 1930s when he was a child, and he thought it was so beautiful that he decided to come back and live here. And when he decided to do that, he also got a job in the parks because he thought one of the coolest things about the park itself was that it had such a variety of trees. Well, he actually ended up, after serving for 30 years, he left a legacy of 14 parks and more than 8,000 elm, maple, cherry, plum, birch, and other trees for folks to enjoy. And there's actually in all of these, there's an actual, what do they call it, a map, so that you could go through. And the Girl Scouts locally, they decided that they would go and they would put little plaques on every single different kind of tree and any kind of plant that they knew that they could recognize. And then I got this super cool backpack from the library, and it has all kinds of the trees that you'd actually find there. And it shows the pictures. This is actually what, serious.
Wait, so you checked that out?
Yeah, with the bug glasses.
I'm so...
These are wicked cool. This is what it would be like. I feel like I'm gonna puke. If you were a bug. It's super cool. And then it came with all of this cool stuff about insects, which is all the cool stuff you'd find over there. And then I got some more stuff. Let's see, urban wildlife, because not just squirrels, but other things live in Sacajawea. And one of the cool things about it is it actually encourages a tremendous amount of other things to come live, like possums. And there's pond life, since it's a really giant pond. So it's a really cool place, and we're really glad because it's here. So who's next? So come on down to check out the wildlife.
So which library?
This came from Castle Rock, but there's also one at the Longview.
So you can get that.
You can get the kit, and the coolest thing about it is my son took it out in our backyard, and it has all these things like in the backpack for experimenting, and so you can identify stuff, And he even got this bug thing that he, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's the ball.
Okay, what are we doing?
I'm leaving.
Okay, audience.
So don't forget to come down and see me. And I really can't walk in these things now.
Okay, good. Good.
Flip
Yeah,
flops
flip
with-
flops and stuff.
It flip-flops and socks. Thank you. Thanks, Rob. I need to go. My name is Rav. I think it should be Yuriko. I am your Japanese guide for the Japanese garden. And today I have some information to share with you about the Japanese garden. This outfit is very multicultural. Unfortunately, I cannot find anything Japanese. But this is what most of together. The Japanese garden, out of character. If you'll notice on the pamphlet, you'll see the beginning of the bridge. The pamphlet is the only picture that I could find, and if you look over at the pamphlet, it's perfect. This is the bridge at the Japanese garden. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a brief history about the garden. In the 1920s, they actually had goats on the island. They had 2 goats there because it was infested with blackberries, and they brought the goats over so that they would eat all of the blackberries. Unfortunately, one of the goats died. The other one butted a person off the island, so there was a liability issue, so they had to get rid of that goat. Al George, the person in charge of conceiving of the idea of having a Japanese garden, began his research in 1989. He became the superintendent of Parks and Rec in 1988. He was there from 1988 to 2010. Al George designed, researched, and went to our sister city in Waco and spoke to Mayor Tanaki, who also did the Japanese garden in Portland. So he went from, so Mr. George met with the mayor, and they came up with a plan for a Japanese garden. However, their problem was that they needed to get a bridge. They needed to build a bridge. So it took them several years, and Weyerhaeuser donated $65,000 for the construction and the design of the bridge. The bridge originally was, they contracted a company in Germany, but then Mr. George was telling me, he said that they couldn't understand the plans, so that plan was scratched. They had to go with a company in the Northwest to design the bridge. It was originally just a big mound of dirt, not a lot going on there. The construction and the clearing and the filling in and just organizing everything on the garden began in 1994. It finished in 2003. So it almost took them about, a little less than, it took them about 9 years to slowly work on it. There was a repair done on a few of the trees. They poured concrete actually into the cavity to stabilize the tree. All of the trees and the plants are not affiliated with, he said that they're not really affiliated with Japan, but there are some of them that they were able to get from the Portland Japanese garden. Most of the plants are either recycled or donated by people of Longview. The gate that you see over here, Mr. George saw a house on 30th, and he liked the design, so he asked his crew to go over there and copy the design, build the bridge, and bring it over here. Bring the gate over here. So after the bridge got built, they started putting all the plans and creating all of the landscaping. And where you notice a lot of pictures of Longview, or people in Longview take them by that little alcove sitting with the little gazebo, that actually hides, camouflages the